member of our team is John Urban on the sidelines. John.
Thank you very much, Christian. The Western Mustangs finished the regular season with a 6-2 record. They won a perfect 4-0 in the month of September, but unfortunately were 500 with a 2-2 record in the month of November. They will have to be perfection in the month of they were 2-2 in the month of October. They'll have to be perfection in the month of November. A chilly one to start it all off here on the first. It could be a battle between the kickers of Zach Medeiros and Ronnie Peffer. I was watching both kickers go to practice before this game. Medeiros was hitting 30-yard field goals into the wind. I was noticing with the wind at Peffer's back, though, he was going wide right. So we'll see if that plays a factor in this game. We'll talk about the quarterbacks and the running backs throughout this game. Back to you guys in the booth.
Yeah, it's going to be a windy one and not a warm one. Right now it's 3 degrees, but the wind chill feels more like -3. Though John Urban has an update.
Thank you once again, Christian. Stevenson Bone already 2 INTs in this game. He was brought in to start this game because of an injured Will Finch. Marshall was not messing around, though. Not only does he have Blake Huggins backing up Stevenson Bone, but they also brought Josh Beach in the equation, the London Beefeaters quarterback. So if anything were to go wrong, or if these INTs start to pile up through the first half of play, they do have backups and willing to go in. But I think the toughest thing for them is keeping warm right now in these elements, guys.
Thank you very much, John. A 35-yard attempt. Brian Marshall's condition. We go to John Urban down on the sideline, John.
Thanks once again, Christian. Just warming up, and then he stopped when you guys throw it down to me. Blake Huggins was actually warming up temporarily, and we'll see if he plays a factor into this game. You kind of foreshadowed it early, though, Christian. The Western Mustangs are actually losing by a score of 14-0 to the Windsor Lancers. They ended up beating them 43-21 right here at TD Waterhouse Stadium to clinch third place and to get home field advantage for this game. That's why the Mustangs tried their best in that contest to get home field advantage. Let's see if the fans can will them back into it, guys.
Now as we look at that, we go to John Urban on the sideline.
Thanks once again, Christian. Trailing by 10 points here in the second quarter. You're looking over my left shoulder at Brian Marshall being attended to by the training staff. You were talking about it, Nigel. Not a lot of cushion on the outside sidelines here at TD Waterhouse Stadium, and I believe it is a head injury. That's kind of scary when you think about it, considering Will Finch left the game against Windsor with a concussion. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, John. It is scary. And on 3rd and 1, first down, and John Urban has an update.
Thanks once again, Christian. 14-0 the Western Mustangs trailed the Windsor Lancers last week. What broke up the momentum? Well, the Windsor Lancers conceded a safety on special teams. The Western Mustangs trailing by 10. What does Laurier do? They concede a safety. And after that fumble, you can tell the momentum is starting to shift into the home team's favor. Let's hope it's a good omen for the rest of the game.
They can fix that.
All right, we go down to John Urban.
Quickly here with Coach Greg Marshall. Coach, you've won 18 Yates Cup championships between your coaching and your playing days. It may be a bit of a loaded question, but what does it take a football program to do to be the pinnacle of success in the OUA?
Well, you know what, it's consistency, and you know, we got to play a little more consistent in the second half today. We certainly hope to be back there, but Laurier is doing a good job. So we're gonna get, we'll get it right, and settle Stevenson down and come out and play good football in the second half.
Through the first half of play, is it a case of the Western offense sputtering or the Laurier making the appropriate adjustments?
Laurier's doing a good job. We're missing some open guys. We made some plays. We got to do a better job in protecting, but we'll get it right the second half.
They haven't beat the Western Mustangs since 2006. Best of luck in the second half, Coach. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thank you very much, John. Greg Marshall's going to be probably pretty mad going into the locker. So far outside that didn't give Pizzuti a chance, and we've got an update with John Urban.
Thank you very much, Christian. This happened right in front of me on the sidelines, and I've never seen such a healthy spot by a zebra in my OUA football career. That has everybody in an uproar in a purple and white jersey right now on the Mustang side of things, and they're even arguing with the officials right now as to where that ball should go. But the second he placed it about 2 or 3 yards up the field, that got everybody's reaction going instantly. So it's safe to say the officials aren't making too many friends right now to start off the second half of play. Guys?
Thanks, John. I think the big issue with this one is where he caught the ball as opposed to where he actually went down. I think he caught the ball and then was driven. A gain of a couple as we go down to John Urban.
Thanks once again, Christian. Looking over my left shoulder, you'll see Sam Vito being attended to. I also wanted to talk about Laurier's number 91, Asante Mizan. Nigel, I've actually heard you mention his name quite a few throughout the first half of play. He's like a James Bond martini, shaken but not stirred, and he should come back into this game anytime now. Back to you in the booth.
As we have an update with John Urban.
Very quickly, Nigel, you see the Western players huddling around J.G. Pouillon, and even though they don't want me to see what's wrong with him, you can clearly tell that it is the elbow as they've taken off that guard. He dislocated that elbow in a road game at a victory over the Waterloo Warriors. Two things I wanted to mention before sending it back to you. For those that don't have the warm comfort of a play booth, nudge, nudge, you got to have two things in the stands, a nice blanket and a nice cup of hot cocoa. Hopefully you got yours in the booth, guys.
We don't need ours in the booth because we have insulation. Hobbles off, we go down to John Urban.
Good and bad news on the sidelines for the Western Mustangs. The good news is Josh Woodman appears to be okay, and that's a huge thing for the Western defense. He had 5 interceptions during the regular season for the Purple and White. He's going to be fine and come back into this contest. But on the flip side, the bad news, J.G. Pouillon, he's a question mark to say the least. It appears to be that same elbow. I know everybody from Mustangs TV hopes him the best of luck for him, and we need him to have a safe and a healthy recovery if we're going to be successful in the playoff stretch. Guys?
I think it's safe to say if it's his elbow, they're going to shut him down. John Urban has some news for us, John.
Thank you once again, Christian. You're looking at George Johnson on the Western bench. He actually has his right knee iced up. Also having his hand looked at was James Safakis. He's one of the 2 Western Mustangs that want to go to the Vanier Cup for more than one reason. Their hometown is Montreal, Quebec. Could you imagine capturing a national championship where you were born and raised? I couldn't. Back to you guys in the booth. Western Mustangs and Will Finch. And Will, honestly, I just got to ask you, it's been obviously a roller coaster of emotions throughout the season, some highs and lows. First of all, how are you feeling, and kind of reminisce on the season, if you will?
I'm feeling pretty good right now, recovering. Every day I'm feeling a bit better. The season, I think, we had some ups and downs, but we just need to execute. And, I think we'll get there.
I know it's probably eating you up inside to be the kind of the cheerleader on the sidelines for this game. The Western Mustangs still have yet to get a touchdown so far, but it's really the Laurier defense that has been the difference maker in this game so far. What are some of the things that you see the away team doing well?
Well, anytime you're on the sidelines, it's tough, but
a little different.
You want to be in there, but Laurier's adjusted well, and I think at this point we just need to execute and run the ball well, and it was going to be a couple big plays, and we'll be back in there, so we'll be good.
Will Finch, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
Guys?
A few yards as we go down to John Urban.
Thanks once again, Christian. Taking a look over my right shoulder, you see George Johnson. He's a 2-sport athlete. He actually plays as well for the men's basketball team for the Western Mustangs. He's got his knee iced up. He's done for the rest of the game. Over my left shoulder, J.G. Pouillon. He's got the elbow guard off. It is iced up as well. He is done for the rest of the game. If you could believe it or not, guys, if the Western Mustangs were trailing 10-0, I told you, and they were going to come back to lead 15-10 in the 4th quarter without a major, you probably would call me crazy. But if they can find a TD, that might be the nail in the coffin that Greg Marshall and the offense is looking for.
You're right. Right now they have themselves a lead without scoring a touchdown. He hurt his elbow there as we go down to John Urban.
Once again, Christian, the Mustangs 18 points put on the board, yet to put up a major though, and we were talking about it earlier in the broadcast, Christian. That last field goal by Zach Medeiros all but shuts the door on the Laurier Golden Hawks, but it does leave it open just that much for the Golden Hawks to try and force overtime here in the quarterfinals of OUA playoff football.
It won't be easy for them.
Very much, Christian, here with Stevenson Bone, the quarterback for the Western Mustangs. It took 58 minutes to get the first major on the board, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Your kicker, Zach Medeiros, got the job done. Talk about his performance.
He did a great job. He's done a great job all year for us, and I'm glad he gets a hold. I get to see him before he kicks every time. I get a up close and personal view, but he did a great job today, and our whole team battled. And that it was a resiliency that ended up being the difference in this game.
Your only start of the regular season was against these same Laurier Golden Hawks. What did the defense do differently today compared to that Thursday night game?
They just adjusted and they played a little bit more man coverage, and they did a good job on our receivers in the first half. And it took us the first half to adjust, but we did a really good job running the ball and controlling the clock. And we put Zach in good positions to score points, and we stopped the turnovers, which was good in the second half. So that was the key to victory, I think.
You'll go off to the semifinals in Guelph, mind you, to take on the Griffins. Last time the Mustangs were at Guelph, they lost by 3 points. What's this team going to have to do differently to not let history repeat itself?
It's just the same thing that we did today. And when our back's against the wall, we're going to battle. And that's the real testament to our coaches, our players. And I think that there's a really good locker room right now. We just got to make sure that we stay together as a family and move forward. So,
Stevenson, best of luck in Guelph, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Now I'm here with the Texas Lone Star player of the game, Zach Medeiros. And Zach, you truly were the difference maker. At one point, it was an 18-10 lead for the Mustangs, and they hadn't even put up a major yet. Take me through this game. It had a little bit of everything: wind, snow, and maybe a little bit of rain here and there, and the sun only poked out for a couple minutes.
Yeah, you know, it was definitely difficult to get used to at the beginning, punting the ball into this wind. I think there's a combination of snow and hail there going on. But after a while, you know, our team battled through a bit of adversity. And, you know, we've been doing that all year, right, especially with injuries. And yeah, we bounced back second half. You know, we came out, you know what, the veterans stepped up, put myself and the other fourth and fifth year guys, and we just got the job done. And again, the offense put me in the perfect spot to hit those field goals.
I believe you actually hit your longest of the season so far from 49 today.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the coaching staff was playing little games with you, though? They kept moving you back and back and back, but you were making them.
No, you know what, it's, you know, that's just the way it falls. You know, throughout the season, I think my longest was probably in the high 30s. And, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes, you know. Especially with an offense like ours, sometimes you're going to stall within that range, right? But it's nice that they have trust in me, and that they, you know, that they obviously trust me to hit around that range. All I got to do is, you know, connect and do my job so they can trust me some more down the stretch.
Just talking with Stevenson Bone there, you guys will go to the Griffins Center to take on the Griffins for the semifinals. You guys only lost by 3 points the last time you were taking on that opponent. The kicker could be a big difference in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, last time we were in golf, he actually had a chance to win the game, so hopefully the roles are reversed this time around.
Zach Medeiros, the Texas Lone Star player of the game. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, back to you in the booth.
Thank you very much, John. So for the Western Mustangs, it's the